The generation ship Odyssey was a world unto itself, a magnificent self-contained ark of steel and hope adrift in the silent sea of stars. Its mission was one of profound sorrow and unbreakable will, to preserve the memory of Earth, whose sun had gone nova a millennia past, scouring the homeworld clean of life. Generations had been born, lived, loved, and died within its rotating hull, their entire culture a beautiful, painful, living memorial to a world none of them had ever seen. They were the last children of a dead Earth. To the wider galactic community, they were a tragic curiosity, a floating museum, a ghost story. The Ixalan, a species of serene historians and archivists, requested permission to dock. They came as scholars, as mourners, wishing to study this perfect, poignant snapshot of a lost culture, to pay their respects to the fallen. They were greeted by the ship's council, led by Alara, a woman whose eyes held the gentle sorrow of 10 generations of loss, yet also a fierce, undimmed light. The Ixalan historian, Xyle, was respectful, his soft, plant-like fronds rustling with a quiet, somber reverence. "We wish to learn of your home," he whispered, his voice like the wind through peaceful leaves, "to help you preserve its memory. It is a noble, if sorrowful, existence you lead, to be the last to carry such a weight." Alara smiled, a sad, gentle expression that held a universe of resilience. "Sorrowful? This ship is not a crypt, Scholar Xyle. It is an ark. The weight we carry is not a burden. It is a seed." She gave him a tour. They walked through vast biomes where children played under a projected blue sky, their laughter echoing under the artificial sun. They visited the Grand Archive, containing every book, song, and piece of art salvaged from Earth, each item a holy relic. They stood in hushed silence before the Wall of Names, a seamless sheet of obsidian that stretched into the dimness, where the name of every soul lost with Earth was eternally etched in light. Xyle was deeply moved. "It is a perfect preservation," he breathed. "A beautiful, silent elegy. You have suspended your culture in a moment of a perfect remembrance, untainted by time. This is the most any species can hope for after such a tragedy." Alara's smile faded, replaced by a firm, patient intensity. "You misunderstand. We are not suspended." She led him to a studio where artists were creating new paintings, their styles influenced by Earth's masters but distinctly their own, incorporating the stark beauty of the starfields outside their viewports. She took him to a concert hall where composers blended Mozart with the rhythmic, haunting hum of the ship's own pulse, creating a new, hybrid symphony of memory and journey. She showed him a classroom where children were not just reciting Earth's history, but were passionately, loudly debating the ethics of their ancestors and designing constitutions for the society they would build on a new world. "You see a memorial," Ilara said, her voice gaining strength. "We see a foundation. We mourn Earth every single day. We feel its absence like a missing limb, but we are not defined by our loss. We are defined by what we choose to build with it. Our grief is not a chain. It is the soil for our future. We are not Earth's echo. We are its answer." Xyle was confused. "But your purpose is preservation, to remember." "To remember so we may continue," she corrected him gently but firmly. The goal was never to become a perfect replica of the past. The goal was to carry the best of it forward. A song is not meant to be heard once and recorded. It is meant to be sung again and again, each time with a new voice. The excellent studies continued, but his perspective had been fundamentally, irrevocably shifted. He no longer saw people living in the past. He saw people using the past as fuel for an incredible future. He saw resilience made manifest. The true test of this philosophy came not from without, but from within. A catastrophic micrometeoroid strike, a 1 in a billion shot, punctured the ship's primary hydrogen slush tank. A devastating chain reaction was imminent. The ship would be torn apart. Alarms blared through the great, spinning cylinder, a sound of pure terror that had not been heard in centuries. Lights flickered. The artificial gravity stuttered. The air grew cold. The Ixalan prepared for despair. They expected the humans to fall into grief, to see this as a final cruel joke from a universe that had already taken their homeworld. They expected them to turn to their memorials and weep. They did not. Instead, a calm, determined energy settled over the ship. It was not the quiet of despair, but the focused silence of a master at work. Engineers, farmers, artists, and children rushed to emergency stations. They used schematics from Earth's early space programs, Apollo, Mercury, Gemini, combining them with ingenious modifications and jury-rigged solutions developed over centuries of isolation and necessity. They patched the hull with composite materials never intended for such a purpose, materials born from their own workshops. They rerouted power through non-standard conduits with a creativity that defied all standard engineering protocols, a beautiful, terrifying dance of intuition and skill. They worked with the ghost of Earth guiding their hands, not as a weight, but as an inspiration. What would the engineers of the International Space Station have done? Someone yelled over the comms. And they found a way. They worked with the desperate courage of those who have already lost everything and refuse to lose the one thing they have left, their future. Within hours, the breach was sealed, the reaction contained. The ship was wounded, scarred, but it would live. The children of Earth had saved their world, again. Zyle found Ilara in the central arboretum, the heart of the ship. She was gently tending to a young oak tree, its leaves a vibrant green, grown from a centuries-old acorn salvaged from a lost world. He looked at her, his scholarly detachment completely gone, replaced by pure, unvarnished awe. "You carry your dead, not as a burden," he said, his voice soft with the weight of revelation, "but as advisors. As a crew you can never dismiss. You are not a museum, you are a bridge, and you are still building it." The Ixalan left the Odyssey soon after, but they did not write a report about a dying culture. They sent a single, powerful message to the entire galactic concord. Beware of pitying the children of Earth. They are the most resilient beings we have ever encountered. They have already survived the end of their world. There is nothing in this universe that can break them. They do not fear the dark. They carry their own light.